Here, I'll fix it. All right. Hello, hello. Sorry about that. I realized that Kip, here, he'd spilled juice everywhere, so how to fix it. And then obviously, you know, the boy likes to eat. All right. So, yeah, look at those unemployment claims. Up slightly. Nothing, I would say we mentioned yesterday that the 200,000 mark is the one that kind of really matters. But at the end of the day, this is considered an orange release. It's not actually the quote jobs number, right? So, yeah, I can tell you right now, all morning, all they're talking about is the job numbers. They're talking about Pal's if comment from yesterday. If we can accelerate if all the data, kind of shows us that. So, yeah, they're kind of laying the groundwork. And as far as the markets are looking at, again, it's that kind of adjustment that they hadn't prepared for. So, tomorrow is going to be an absolutely big day. All eyes will be on that payroll number. Thus far, the two kind of data points that we have going into it, the ADP number, look big. We saw the JOLTS data also went up. So, Powell talking about we are ready to accelerate if we have to through the totality of data. Well, the first two ingredients are already talking about acceleration. So, yeah. We'll see what we get monetary policy wise today. But as I mentioned, tomorrow morning is really where all the fireworks are going to happen with this. Average hourly earnings, the non-farm employment changes, the unemployment rate. They brought up a good point yesterday, basically talking about how, you look historically, we're at full employment, right? It can't really go lower than this. It's not necessarily, I guess they could try, but for the most part, this is considered full. So there's really nowhere to go here, minus up. And they've looked at history in the past when we've had similar scenarios like this. Unfortunately, when they said, when we've seen something similar, it didn't turn out well. And it absolutely led into recessions. And obviously all the talk about, increasing is not really what the market wants to see. But this data is going to be big. Again, seeing the 224 here, they're not really necessarily adjusting it as much as I think they could. But remember, the ADP number we got was also supposed to come in low and came in substantially higher. So, yeah, it's going to be a big one. And like I said, it kicks off at 8:30 tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time. It's what all eyes are looking for. And, yeah, I can tell you right now, if this comes in, I don't know, it's expected to be what? 224? Where'd it go? Uh-oh. Where did it go? I don't see it, Bubba. Uh-oh. He dropped his cap and it rolled. Oh, there it is. This thing comes in at like, I don't know, 275, 300. I mean, God forbid it's like a 300. Imagine if we have a number like we did last time, right? The expectation was 193 and it came in at 517. I wouldn't be surprised if there is a little bit of an adjustment down to maybe like 500 or 490, something like that. But man, if we're at 500 again, it's not a good day to be in indices. The market will stop. Nope. The market will just get absolutely just smoked. So it's going to be nasty. So if you look at the 24-hour pip changes, you can see that the euro and the pound are both up versus the dollar. Dollar's down a little bit. And again, not necessarily surprising in anticipation for tomorrow. And again, we have had two pretty big days up. So not really surprised by seeing a bit of a reversal here. It kind of makes sense. I mean, people don't know. And again, if we are expecting, if we expect profit taking will bring the price down. And then at the same time, we would expect, again, Kip, stop. Now he's banging the keyboard again. You're about to be put on the ground and you're going to be very unhappy. So you sit here, you have to be good. Yeah, we would expect the dollar to come back just because, one, profit taking, two, preparing for more strong dollar play. You'd expect it to pull back today so people can get it on sale. That's just how, again, that's how things work. Let's go over to the chart. So looking at the VIX. So the VIX on the 30-minute kind of stabilized itself. And again, 1850 seems like it was the bottom. And you can see we jump back and forth. And we took a big spike and then it kind of deteriorated yesterday after, again, Powell rose it up. He talked again yesterday and kind of came back down again. He's done speaking, so there's no more big blockbuster bits of data. But the emphasis is still there, talking about what could happen, what it would take for it to happen. But right now, all it is just talk. We're waiting for the actual whatever to come out, right? You're seeing the dollar kind of pull back a little bit. We mentioned yesterday, hey, listen, there's an area here we've bounced off of. Look, we're doing all the basing in there. Right now, again, if this was anything else out there, this is kind of one of those ideal Harry Potter trade setups. So, do we see dollar weakness coming today? I mean, on a purely technical basis, I would say, yeah. I mean, this is an area we kind of hit it. We hit it again. We started the base in here, and we're basing at that lower part again. We got a run down here to 104.60. So, it's looking like this does have the potential to kind of roll back to the downside today. And again, see dollar weakness, which would mean green in the indices, right? It would be a green indices day with that dollar going back down again. And again, is it real? Is it a true rally? It's probably more placement for tomorrow more than anything else. And you're seeing right now, the big three, ESNQYM, are all in the green. Russell barely in the red at minus, 0.05, 0.04. So nothing, nothing too crazy with that. Apple, Tesla up, although I heard Tesla, was it Tesla? I believe Tesla's down big, although it's showing that it's up right now. I guess earlier today when I was listening to it, they said that it was down. But again, obviously the rally's coming back in that one. Commodities, with the dollar down, you're seeing all the commodities are up. Now we're back up to 77.5 on oil. Again, kind of moving in that wrong direction. They were talking about, kind of increased demand. Economy's not hurting the way that they thought it was. Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw it or not. William Wallace. You guys know who William Wallace is? Braveheart, right? You guys remember Braveheart? Mel Gibson, freedom, all that kind of stuff. There was a climate change group that I don't know if they broke into the museum or if it's an open museum, whatever it is. William, the real William Wallace, right? Not Mel Gibson. The real William Wallace's sword was in a display case, and a climate change group decided to protest, I guess, Northern Ireland's signing of additional kind of oil supplies. And again, they're trying to make themselves more, independent versus dependent on other people, i.e. Russia. And do the Scottish accent. No. Not today. I will say, Neuro, I did actually have to have a Scottish accent at one point. Yeah, in college. It was a funny experience. But anyway, the climate change people went in there, vandalized it, smashed the case, painted "this is rigged" or whatever it was on there. So again, I just don't get it. Like, you want people to listen to you and take you seriously, but you commit a crime. Like, don't commit the crime. You can peacefully protest without destroying property and things. Like, now you're just a criminal. I don't care what you say. So, yeah, William Wallace's sword is being checked for damages right now. So, that's a shame about the horses. Yeah. So, yeah, all those are up. Again, gold and silver up today as well. Back up in that 1830 and the 20. Again, I don't think, 2021, it's up 1% today in silver. I do think this is preparation for what we're going to see. There's a lot more coming with those two. So let's dive right over into the currencies. Yeah, it was actually pretty funny. The Scottish accent thing, it was for a collegiate level mock trial. And I was a witness for a trial. I did both. I was actually an attorney for my team, but I also went as a witness. Actually, my first year, I was an attorney second year when I was a captain. My first year, I was a witness. And I had to play a sleazy sports agent. Actually, I did too. I was a sleazy sports agent. That one I had a New York accent for, which was absolutely hysterical as well. And then another one, I was a soccer coach. So I don't know where it came from, but I came up with like a Scottish/Irish, kind of a blend of the two accent to be a soccer coach for the mock trial case for the witnesses. And it was absolutely hysterical because after after the second time I did it, because you have to maintain character at all times, right? After I did the second one, the judge, after she said it was over, she came up to me. She's like, "All right, first off, I thought you were like born in Brooklyn because I swore that was your normal accent with the first one. But then after watching you do the soccer player, I swore you were from Ireland." She's like, "I don't know what you did." And I talked. She's like, "Wow, you don't have those are not real, right?" I was like, "No, neither one of them are actually real." So I was convincing, right? I was pretty convincing. My mock trial coach told me I should have pursued acting. After my collegiate career, is like, when this is over, you should go to NYU and look into acting because you fooled everybody. I was actually it was at Yale. I was at Yale for that contest, and I won a best witness award. None of the judges were like, "Seriously, you weren't born in like the Bronx or Brooklyn or something with like a really heavy accent?" Like, no, sorry, I'm from Maryland. They're like, "What?" Yeah, it's hysterical. Anyway, here's Aussie dollar. So yesterday morning we kind of peaked. We grabbed the bottom on that one. And we talked about, late last night, actually, we ended up missing the bounce off of that level, which I think is fine. We're driving back up again. You can see we kind of poked above yesterday at that 10-10-30 mark, right above that 23.6. And we said, although not the best of levels, there was a wick against a wall. It did reverse and come back down and touch. Again, depending on your broker, you may or may not have been able to get into this trade. Actually, this one is drawn a little bit high. It should have been drawn there. So what? No, we cannot put stuff into the monitor or into the TV in the tower. No. Depending on the broker, you can see right here. This is Oanda-based data, right? It did miss the actual zone on this one, but I know some people were able to get into this one. So we've rallied back, and again, you're not taking that 23.6 again. You can see it does have some room to run to go a bit higher. But let's get out of that cord. Right now, looking at this on a 30-minute, you can see we do have a little bit of a confirmed level, and it's sitting up here, and it is right around the 50% mark. So right now, I'm kind of looking at this one and saying, hey, listen, if we can get, hold on, let me get this right there. Bam, right there. If we can get this to continue to rally today. Now, it is a big if because, again, U.S. session, we tend to see more dollar strength coming in. But again, looking at kind of what the data could be, maybe people see that number today and be like, oh, that's the employment data that Powell is talking about. Whew, they're not going to raise it. And that will give dollar weakness coming in. It's only about 38 pips. It's not that much. The Aussie dollar has an 80 pip ATR, right? It has an 80 pip ATR. So it absolutely can go up to that level. And again, it is kind of an impulse correction, and then use that same level and then collapse really, really fast. So it's a pretty decent level. I like it. I definitely think, but be careful. I definitely think this could be a level that, again, we can kind of sneak something in. Ideally, I love this level. And again, 1 to 3 is only right there. We got to see what the approach looks like, the rest of the approach. Ideally, if this could be, if we can just mess around in here and then in the overnight head up, I think this is an absolutely amazing short trade going into the news tomorrow morning at 8:30, right? Going into ADP, I think this is awesome. Bubba, it's here. Gipster, where'd you go? Here's your pouch. I think that would be great. But if it doesn't, again, if we go up to here by 10:30, 11, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I absolutely think we can take a roll and a short off of that one. It's only 12. It's 13 pips. It's 12.9 is what it's listed as. So again, you're looking at 13 for 39 in the other direction. Bubba, your pouch is right there. Daddy threw it right there. Go ahead, get it. Love it. I think it's, let me shorten that. Actually, 12.6, sorry. And then 3 is right there. So, yeah. So, it's 12 for 38, somewhere around there. Here. No, I don't want it. Here. It's your pouch. Here. It's your pouch. Here. No? Here. I'll put the lid on for you. There. You can do the lid. Oh, here. There you go. You can do it. I think that's a great little trade setup. So, again, 2 shorts in the Aussie dollar. Both of them, I think, are valid. We're sitting right in the middle of both sell areas right now. Yeah, so that's what we got going on. And again, this is one of those ones, too. If you want to set an alert for it, I'm actually good with this one for being an alert. I think that's pretty decent, right? Yeah, I'm good with that one. Like I said, I like the 50. I like the pullback. I like the confirmation. I like the time. I like the proximity. Again, if it's able to rally up in preparation for tomorrow, I think all those things make sense. So I think it's a pretty good one right there. That would be an alert that I sent out to people. Aussie again. So Aussie again. These are the levels we talked about, and you can see we ended up hitting this one yesterday at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We did hit that area. We came back up again. We grabbed the 23.6. Actually, that's what, Tuesday? Yeah, it's Tuesday. I'm sorry. And then Wednesday, we drove back down again from that like 5:30, and then we hit it. And this, we can do the counts here. There's 1, there's 2. You can say that there's 3. There's 4. And again, basic in there, like, yep, it's breaking. And it did. It broke through. So again, worked out as a great level to, again, know that it was going to come through. All the basing occurred there. Right now, we are kind of low in the curve. So I'd like to see where this one moves to. There's a few levels I want to kind of point out. One of them is here. Obviously, you had a big drop in this one. It kind of moved around sideways and then went down again. And it also confirmed. But this is a level that, although it has turned price away, it's not my favorite level because, again, we have the touching here. And even if you count this as 1, which is really 2, right? Just count as 1. There's 2. There's more or less 3 with a front run. It's not... I think I'll have a hard time going through it. So while it's a level, I think I'd much rather wait until we get up to the 90-80 on that one. Now, are we going to get a rally back again? Now, this is, again, we knew this was a level down here. We could say that, hey, listen, there's the base right there. There's a little bit of a confirmation it should go higher. I would say, if anything, this level right here, and again, if you want to kind of bring it down to where the last touch happened, There is kind of a long trade in this one. It's part Aussie, it's part yen. They're both proxies, so it's, it's okay. I would say it's a great target. Would I want to get short from that level again? I don't know. It just hit there a few too many times. Um, Kind of the same thinking on this one. If we are able to rally up before the US based news, though, I do think this 90-80 could be a potential for tomorrow morning. I'd like to see what it does. Again, it's a proxy and a proxy, it's a double proxy, right? Gold and the Dow, right? So I mean, there can be a lot that happens with this one. So, but right now we are continuing the trend lower. Again, we saw this zone, it bounced off of it, and again we had 3 touches. We expected it to break, it did, and now where it's going, it's just continuing the channel to the downside. Are there, could it reverse right here? Absolutely could. Right, it's 10 o'clock. We have the influence of both those in there, but right now I kind of want to see a little bit of Aussie strength come in. If you took it long, again, you're a little bit over, but right now, everything is waiting for tomorrow. And again, being this double proxy, I think right now look for 90-80 as far as potential shorts. Not necessarily interested in getting long this one, right? Want to see what it takes a little bit later. When is this? Yeah, it's Monday. This is all Monday data. So ideally, if we could get a nice push down, this would be a great reversal for Monday's data here. Euro dollar. All right, so euro dollar. Again, we knew we had all the chop in there. We talked about it yesterday being around that 1030 reversal, and it did. It reversed back. It went down a little bit. I mean, I would say from that level, it went back about 20 pips and then just kind of maintained. It kind of went up and then, again, ran into the sellers. We knew there were sellers, but not really like the best level that we want to draw it off of. And it reversed back and kind of came up, and it's kind of meandering. Again, this is that kind of Harry Potter, and, we knew we had all that drama from Pal speaking. So right now we know, there's a little bit right here. There is a wick against a wall. Maybe we can see it on a 15. Yeah, you can kind of see it, but this is not the level we're looking at. I mean, I could keep going lower, lower, lower to find something awesome. And it's not really my favorite, right? So, I mean, right now, know that we are kind of in a racetrack right here. There's obviously some selling happening around the 50. What I'm really looking for today is for this one to continue to go higher with dollar weakness. And the question is, how high can it go to get us into a place of selling? If we go back up to like the 786, which again, I hate the 786, but there are some selling up there. That's about 87 pips. The daily ATR is 82 or 83. It's 82.9. So 83. It can get there in the next 24 hours. It can push up there from now till then. It's going to need a little help in the European session. And again, we may get it, but that's if we just kind of go straight up. So I'm most likely assuming that it comes up to the 50 or 61. What I really want to see in this one is I wanted to put a top in there. If it does it at the 50, great. If it does 61, awesome. I want to see it pull back down again and then maybe pull back up and kind of give us one of those fair to go higher levels. Giving us like something like this. Like if this is the 61 over here, obviously, if this was the 61 or the 50, and this is kind of what we had before the news came out, or this 61's established, and then it comes up to that level again, right in time for news. Screenshot this, bring it over here. Bring that right here. I think that's a great trade to take before tomorrow's news. Again, I'd like to see what the Europeans do with it. If the European market, let's see, European market opens here. If we see this tomorrow morning before the news comes out, the Europeans have probably already gotten a trade, right? They've probably already timed it. Not that it can't go lower than that, but ideally, again, this is one of those ones you kind of got to watch what the Europeans do with it. It is what it is. Hopefully it doesn't just blindly turn on the 50, the 61. Hopefully it gives us that zone. Yeah. I'd like to see this roll through. Euro pound. So euro pound continued to deteriorate. We talked about the top. Again, we talked about a Harry Potter trade in here. Now the Harry Potter trade, we're always looking for near-term levels. And again, love that it hit here. Love that it hit here. This base at 330 kind of messed this one up a little bit. It did spike all the way down and like, all right, yes, the short is active, right? We're looking for that short now. And it did give us the pullback. Unfortunately, it did. We kind of really needed to move this up to probably this level of basing right here, right? And you can see it based, it broke through, and then came back and touched it there. So again, this is the thing that's tricky about Harry Potter's. Unless it bases, and again, your near-term basing is more here. And this was, again, this is early morning, so I wasn't able to get the benefit of that one. This is where we were yesterday here. It did base below, and we should have adjusted it, so it should have been a little bit higher. This is what it should have looked like. is this, right? Actually, it's there. Sorry. Um, there's your pullback right there. Okay. So again, this is one of those things that the most important thing with Harry Potter is getting the near-term basing level. This was the prior level that we were looking at, but once this base formed here and you started to see it bounce off the top, you absolutely need to adjust it. And unfortunately, with hindsight, not it's our hindsight now, but this was at like 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. So had you looked at this last night, there's where your adjustment looks like. It did break it. There was no entry there. Here was your entry. There's your little triangle. There's your pullback, and your entry was at 6:30 this morning. Right? That's what your trade looks like. So it's not quite out. Actually, it is. I thought it was. Hold on. 1 to 3 is right there. So you're officially out. You got out at 8:30 this morning. Okay. So yeah, the right trade set up, the wrong levels, only because we didn't have the benefit. We were sitting. We're sitting here. We were at the top. That's what we were looking at. So we didn't know where the base is coming in. Once you saw this, now you're adjusting the Harry Potter, right? All that basing, you're like, yep, adjusted it. Look, there's all your basing. That's where the Harry Potter should have been adjusted to. So again, good trade, nice little, and again, it's not huge. It was like 25 pips. It was like it says 6 here, but it was about 7, right? 7 for 21 to 25 in the other direction. Typically, I don't like to take anything less than 25. So I believe it's at the 25 right now. 25 is right there. So you're about to tag it. All right. So I like where this one is. I like to see this to continue to deteriorate down. We're kind of in the middle of the range right now. Again, what you're going to do with this one is you're going to use this to determine whether we're trading euro dollar or pound dollar tomorrow. You guys know how that works. We're going to see which one's strong, which one's weak. We are looking to see which one is weaker. Right now, it is the euro. So if we were getting ready to do the non-farm payroll data right now, we'd be looking to get it because, again, we're looking at more dollar strength right now, right? We'd be going euro dollar, right? Euro is the weaker between the two. So we want the weaker of the two of these pairs. So again, use it as a proxy. Whoops, I just moved it. All right. Euro yen. All right. So we talked about this one as well. We were looking for that basing at 144. And if you look right here at 4 o'clock in the morning, guess what we got? We said, hey, listen, we need that basing. There's all your basing right there. Okay. So we have peaked above. So yesterday I said, throw an alert on here because it will probably, again, go back and watch if you don't believe me. I said, hey, listen, there's a zone here. It would be great if it came down and used that level and based off of that one. That would be good. And that's exactly what it did. Now, it based, it used it, it spiked in, it did not give us a Harry Potter entry. We were looking for space. We wanted to come down. We wanted to kind of base a little bit and then pull back. But what this just did right now, by slicing through that other alert to here, that just told us that that's where the buyers were sitting, that we've eaten up these guys, which means this level is now ready to go. This one is live. So we can take this one, we can edit this one, we can throw this one back on. It is now live again. There's another one. So again, it confirmed off that level. That's what we were looking for, was like, hey, listen, base, hit that level and come back up. What did it do? It based, it sliced through and said, yup, those are the buyers. So that's where we're looking for a near-term base. So again, another trade on there. To the downside, it is a proxy, but I think this one will be pretty decent. And again, we know we have weakness in the yen. But a breakthrough 143.57 down to 143.12. Okay. Pound dollar rallying on the top side, which is what we're looking for. So yesterday morning, yesterday right here at 10:30, you can see it did pull back. It wasn't very strong. It didn't end up hitting. And then it started the base. Like, it ran out of steam. Like, if you did get short here, again, once it does this, you get out. It hit it again. You're like, I'm out. This is just not moving. Just not enough action. Maybe you banked a little bit on there. And then, again, it finally... Oh, hold on one sec. Keep got him stuck in the room. All right, sorry about that. He went into the my bedroom and then shut the door because he's like, yeah, I can close the door, but he can't open the door. He's not tall enough to reach the handle. So yeah. Anyway, again, crap level. 23 Sixers got in here. They're like, yeah, and then immediately got stopped out. So it didn't work out really well for them. We're up at the 50 right now, and again, that's probably why we're seeing some. What? What, are you distraught now because you got locked in the room for 30 seconds? What? What? Here, you want the chopstick? Here. Ooh, here, put it in this. Here, go down there, put it in the hole. Go. Ooh, put it in there. There. Go, buds. So right now we're probably seeing a little bit of a reversal at the 9:30 because of the U.S. session coming online, as well as 50% traders. Although it didn't really hit the 50, it was really really close. There's no level there. We know that. We're not seeing a whole lot until we get up into this range here. Ideally, not that again of the two, we know that the euro is weaker than the pound, but it doesn't mean it won't reverse in the next 12 hour or 24 hours. There is an area over here, and I want to mark it off. It is close to the 61.8. We talked about it briefly yesterday, up at 119.70 or 119.69. It's closer to that. We'll just round down. It is a 61.8. It is a 50 in the the bigger draw of things. So again, whether you took the more near term or the last high to low, there's a lot going on there with a 50 and a 61.8, and it's a level of basing with a strong push off of it. So ideally, again, we'd like to see this rally up again. For it to do that, it's not going to require a huge movement. About 55 pips. It's got a 119.5 ATR, so it's half of a daily's movement higher. We're seeing that the euro pound is going down, meaning that there are pound strength. If pound weakness happens to roll in the overnight and the euro starts kicking back again, then the pound yen is what we want to trade. Well, guess what? There happens to be a level sitting right there with basing, strong movement off. That's a 61.8 and a 50, all kind of overlapping with gigantic news coming in where, again, we're expecting some somewhat stronger data coming out of the U.S., right? Especially, oh, look, the forecast over here is 205. So there is a slight adjustment. Look, 205, 224. So, yeah. So we know it's there. And again, if you want to set an alert for this one, great. Again, I would shrink the zone a little bit. You could actually shrink it probably to there, but I was trying to get the 61.8 because it is a powerful level. The risk on this one is approximately 15 if you take just the top side of it. If you go there, 119.74, right? 119.74 is using the 50% retracement and the bottom of that green candle. Okay, so it's a little bit more conservative, but yeah, there's about 7 pips in here between the 61.8, which again, the 61.8 would be off this last peak here. You could potentially get front run on it. All right. Pound yen. All right. So funny enough, we drew pound yen as kind of having its bottom somewhere down in here, right? We missed it by a little bit, so it's there. And look what happened when I did that. Look, we're here. Whoops. Hold on. When it was up here, when I missed it by a little bit, we talked about the 50 being somewhere in that range. Well, there you go. The 50 is now in play. The Harry Potter happened in here, right? This was yesterday morning. Right now, I would say probably drag this across. We do have a little bit of confirmation in there. Right now, we're kind of in between buying and selling, right? I would say that we're kind of smashed in right there, right? Kind of went lower. I hate this candle right here. This candle is just garbage. Right now, we're kind of sitting in the middle. We do know we have pound news coming in, though. We have the GDP on a monthly basis. What's the forecast for that one? Expect to be somewhat positive. So it could be, again, it could be negative, right? Could be negative, which would also give us that pound weakness. That may actually be the catalyst for tomorrow. This one right here, right? This may be the catalyst tomorrow instead of using the euro dollar to be using the pound dollar, right? If this is, again, it's expected to be 0.1. If it comes in as a negative number, that should be weak for the pound. Means that they really can't do any more with raising interest rates because they're going in the opposite direction. And they were doing bad last time too, right? Although it was actually worse than expected. So if it is a negative number, that may give us that ability. And again, that would give us the ability to come up and short. So I would say right now, the cleanest thing we have, and again, it's not my favorite level in the world, would be 162.80. Again, it's a level of basing punch off, and we barely touched it and went. It is above this 23.6, so you will have some artificial selling in there. But right now, there's not really a great buy area for this one. So be looking more for weakness. And again, maybe look for this. If we can rally for some reason up into that level, again, this is this is one of those opportunities. They were off last time; they're off again. It could be a big pushback to the downside. So again, news-based move. Check it in the overnight. It could give you everything you need to the downside. Dollar CAD. All right, we were talking about a reversal off 138. It ended up going just a little bit higher to there, and you can see that's where it ended up rolling. It's pushing back down. So we're really looking for this to come back down. I like what we're driving. I like the drive that we have right now. We're kind of waiting for it to come here. We know we still have the Harry Potter. Remember that Harry Potter trade is coming in of a break of one. Let's see, make this flat right there. 137.18. Yeah, 137.18 with a run to the downside. So again, we know what this is coming in, and actually it's dual news, right? It's dual news. Now, the thing about CAD, we already know that the CAD is paused. They held at 4.5. They're stalling out. If their unemployment rate goes up, should be weakness. Again, employment change expected to be good, but not nearly what it was. This could easily be a negative number, especially with the unemployment rate going up. So again, this is more set for a pop than anything else. But again, we got to see what the dollar data is. Right now, the way that I'm assuming it could turn out, right? Yeah. Exactly. I think that it's going to be negative CAD data, and I really feel like we're going to be to the top side of the 224. I'd be really surprised if it was lower than the 224. Just with everything we've seen, then it's kind of like, well, what are we looking at right? What? Um, I think it's a long opportunity. So I'm kind of hoping we kind of hit this in the overnight and bounce because I do love this retracement. But right now, we kind of need where we're at. I think it's a launching point. I think we can get up in this higher range at 138. So right now, again, maybe if we start to base here, this pushes down and then we take off. But it's got to get down here and it's got to base pretty quickly. Maybe I mean I guess it could do it potentially in the European market, but well, that's what you're doing. No, we can play with that. So yeah, I'm looking for this to bounce. I don't, like I said, I don't know where it's going to be. Hopefully, it bases in here. We can get out of this trade fully. I think I drew this yesterday that you can see it, right? Again, with the right, if this, then that. There's the 1 to 3. You can see it's got plenty of room to run if it breaks through here. Okay, so I like it, but it's not something I want to get short before news, right? I don't want to be short on this news. I like it in the other direction. Looking at dollar Swiss. So yeah, there's your dollar Swiss trade. It's out officially, right? This one kicked in at 3 o'clock this morning. Yeah. So we drew this yesterday. It still made complete sense where it was. Again, 3 a.m. entry, drop back down, kind of went retraced at 8 o'clock. And then again, we just clicked out of it here. So this is an easy 11 for 35. Again, easy way for you guys to be in good positions in the morning. So again, there's your alert triggered. There's your pullback, European open, and follow through. So right now, again, the trade's out. This is always hard. Like the trade literally just finished. It's hard to be like, here's the next one. I think it comes down and it probably bounces off this 93.52. I think this is probably going to be a level where we have reversals. Again, if we bounce off of it, you could potentially take it for tomorrow. But right now, like I said, the trade just finished. I'm okay with the pullback in this one. I do think this one spikes tomorrow as well. But again, there's 33 pips from yesterday if you're able to get in. All right. And again, pretty easy one. Right. Dollar yen. All right. So dollar yen tearing back a little bit. I mean, we're sitting down here at the 136 number. I really like us to get the 135 by tomorrow. I'm wondering again. Obviously, the BOJ is not raising interest rates or doing anything like that. But maybe we can get a spike down to the 135. I think if we can get, for all the non-farm data tomorrow, if we can get down to the 135, I feel like that could really be a great launch point. I love 135 with a dollar yen. I think it's great. We got a little bit of room to run. About 100 pips. It's got a 135 ATR. It absolutely can come down there in the overnight. Where we are now, though, it's like, I mean, you're going to buy here? Nah. You're going to buy here? I mean, they're tested levels, but it's been hit multiple times and time over here, and we have a target at 135.34. So, I mean, I think this continues to deteriorate today. And again, we talked about, hey, listen, there's a potential Harry Potter, but it's got stuff to chunk through. And look, there you can see the pullback, right? So, I mean, it came through. We were looking for shorts, but we're sitting kind of in the middle of the range. So, I mean, ideally, I want to wait till 135, right? Right now, I would say no trade setup on this one at all. I'd wait for it tomorrow morning. TLT up a little bit. Let's look at this guy. So, right, we were talking about this as being a potential. Yesterday morning, we were sitting down here, and we knew we had a spike, and it really just flatlined. The data came out. The inventory was pretty much what we expected, right? Pretty much what we expected. But again, too much time. It ended up grabbing this level up top, and that's what it just bounced off of. Overall, Again, we're back up. I mean, we're not really much different. We talked about 77.46. We're at 77.54, 55. So again, about 9 cents from where we were at the open. For this guy, I still think 76.48. I still think that's where we're at. I think we come back down again. It spent so much time. It just totally flat down there yesterday. Bubba, did you do it again? Okay, there we go. Yeah, right now I feel like the jobs data is really what we're looking for here. The reason why I'd like it to come back down is because if we do blow out the jobs number, although most of the money will be over on the indices, an increased jobs number, I think, could definitely start to put a strain. If they're like, "Hey, listen, we hired a whole bunch more, 500,000 people instead of 200,000 people," that should give us a pop in this because it'd be increased demand that they're not expecting. So I kind of wanted to pull back today. I'm looking for this one to, again, it is up, but I think if we can roll back into the 76.50 area where all this basing occurred, I'm almost kind of looking at this one for a news trade for tomorrow. So I would say today, I kind of like this one negative. I like the zone up there. Like I said, I was kind of iffy about this. We were looking for kind of a true bottom on that one. And the reality is it came down to there. So it really wasn't a 23.6 level anymore. It's not quite a 50, right? Um, I'd like it to push down, I think, getting long tomorrow morning. So I'm not as interested in taking this one today. Natural gas also, but natural gas is really just kind of flatlined. Yesterday morning, we kind of drew it. It went above, right? Actually, yesterday we were sitting here. What did we do? We kind of went back up to that kind of old 23 level, and we're still there. So it's up, but look, we're in the middle of the range. We got highs here, lows here. We're skirting right down the middle. We do have inventory today for natural gas. I just don't think it's going to be a big mover. There's too much emphasis on the jobs number right now. Just not, again, not the commodity side of things. Now, gold. Okay, so gold. Yesterday, we talked about this one rallying back up again. We weren't really as interested in the 23.6. We knew they were there, and we kind of slicing through it. It did pull back, and then kind of just slowed down, right? We hit 2 o'clock. It didn't do much. We kind of pushed up in the European session. 5:30 reversed this back in time for the U.S. trader to get on board, and then bam, we took off. We talked about 83, 40, 83, 34, 50. You can see that's exactly what it hit before it kind of pulled back again. I was hoping that we weren't going to get as much of a push up on this one, right? I was kind of like, can we not push up today? Can we do it tomorrow? That would have been better. But we're there now. So again, we knew we had a base level. We knew it was the 50%. So it's starting to roll back. It is 10:15, 10:30. It's been straight up this morning. So again, profit taking coming in. This is where it works, right? I mean, this is kind of what we talked about. So yeah, I really wanted it for tomorrow, not for today. But there's a parabolic move up in the profit taking should come in right at a 10:30 reversal. So it's kind of right there. Yeah, not much to say. It's in. That was the trade from yesterday. We wanted to spike up in the overnight and hit tomorrow, but it wanted to do it today. It's like I'm in. So yeah, and right now, if you look at this too, gold is up 1.05, silver is up 1.10. Right, so 0.05 difference between the two. Typically, it should be over double, so it's not right now. So there's your trade there. And again, silver, here's the level we talked about yesterday. The bottom held firm. It kind of came back down right at the 20 mark. We knew 20 was going to be a big deal. And what did it do? It flatlined right on 20 until the overnight. And again, European session opened here, pushed up. 5:30 reversal, pushed it right back down again. 9:30 when we started, pushed it back up again. And where are we at? That kind of same 23 level that was tested before, and you can see it's chopping back through again. So, and look, now they're 0.01 apart, 0.02 apart. So they're both kind of slowing down at the same exact point. I would expect them to kind of both turn and roll back into the 20. Again, this one doesn't have a whole lot up here, so if it holds, again, I like being short tomorrow morning, but I'd like to see it kind of rally up a little bit. I'm just afraid that this is probably where it's going to turn for the day. And like I said, they're both kind of stuck. Again, gold's at 1%. Actually, they're both, look, there you go, silver. Gold is at 1, silver's at 0.99. So, yeah, it's kind of rolling. All right, so yeah, they're there. What do we got? Tesla, Apple up a little bit. Tesla starting to pull back again. That early morning run. Everything's a little bit in the green. What's the VIX doing? Yeah, the VIX pulling back down. There's no news, right? It should pull back down again. Yeah, it's doing what it's supposed to do. Let's see. Yeah, look, it's trying. Look, it's entering, right? It's pulling back. It's trying to pull the trigger here. Let's look at ES. Let's see on the 15-minute what we would have had this morning. 8:15. Yeah, we were at a high. Yeah, the 9:15 was a red candle and it pulled back, but is it pulling back into a zone? No. Is there a confirmed zone up top? not till higher up. I mean, I guess there is, but it's a crap zone. Like I would not use this. This is yesterday's 10:30 candle, right? That's too big of a zone, but that's what it's turning into right now to push back down. So would I have taken this one as it's 9:30 open? Not really, not really. But why is it turning? Because there's confirmed sellers there. So makes sense where it turned, but not an opening print today. And again, these 10 o'clock, transactions this week, right? Really screwing with this. And again, this is why it's important to have multiple strategies. Funny, somebody that I followed yesterday, she posted a chart and she was like, she's like, I don't know where to go with this one. And it literally just channeled sideways. I was like, yeah, those are kind of weird days. They happen. Some days it's better just to walk away and be like, yep, not interested. But yeah, so it's turning where it should have, but no opening print, unfortunately, for this one. NQ, let's see what we had. Again, 9:15 was a red candle, followed up by green. Yeah, this one is up here. Look, right? If you look at the kind of where this one took off from, again, kind of a big zone. That's what it's running into. So yeah, no real confirmed zone here on the pullback. It was just moving too much. Again, reversing where you would expect it, big candle and moving price, but not opening print. YM. YM actually turned a little bit early. Again, never even gave a pullback. 9:15 was green here. Nothing in the overnight. It's all sitting lower. And kind of a confirmed buy down here. So 5:15. There was kind of a zone there, but you can see 9:15 was all the way up here, so not even close. So again, that would be a target for the downside. Look for this one to potentially slow down and stop at 32,765. Okay. Now Russell, let's see. Normally, when all three of the other ones stink, Russell tends to be good. But let's see what we got in Russell. All right, so 8:45, 9:15. This was from yesterday. So again, we love that formation. There's a little bit of a touch. Would you have traded this one? 9:30. I think it would have left without you. The 9:45 did come up and grab it. So I would say, is this opening print? It didn't confirm in the overnight. It confirmed yesterday. So this is more of just a regular reversal with, again, 4 descending candles down, a pop down, and then a test on it. It was a confirmed level, right? But it was not an opening print. 9:15 is there. 9:30 is right there. That's a 9:45. So it had already pulled back and kind of got front run. It did tag it and go down, but not necessarily opening print for the day. So, again, it's been a weird week as far as opening print goes, just because Powell speaking every day, and then obviously this morning there was some data from one of the banks, and people were like not happy about it. It looks like Russell's leading the way. Now the question is, does Russell turn here? Right? We do have a zone sitting right down here. Is Russell going to turn and stabilize itself a little bit? Let's pull some of these off. Hmm. Pull these all the way across. The one thing thinks about the small time frames. I can bring it up, but there you go. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what we're running into right now. Two older zones, right? So yeah, you see it bouncing back a little bit. So it's finding the same buyers, right? It's finding those buyers. So could be an area. It's all right. I don't love it. Not. I don't. The Russell of the 4 is my least favorite, but yeah. So again, not an opening print, but definitely an area where you would see reversal coming back. And again, your profit target would have been the opposing zone. It just tagged the profit target and is now pulling back again. So it wasn't a bad trade if you guys were able to grab it. Pretty sure it's a 1-3 though. 1-3 is right there. Oh, look at that! Look at that! It was so close. It literally turned right before the 1-3. But you would have to set this one saying, "Hey, listen, the buyers are tested there, right? You got to kind of look at this and be like, hey, listen, there's the top of where the buyers are, and you can see it peaked just below. Look at it, just missed. So, all right, that's it for today. Like I said, with today not being a whole lot there, oh God, what is that? They think inflation is dominating understanding. Yeah, 4 decades from soup to nuts, literally. Still not close. It may seem odd. Whatever. It's not a legit one. Guardrails, MACD indicator. No. And you can tell it's a slow day. Why? Because some of the hottest stories: a judge orders a man to pay housewife $200,000 yours as compensation for 25 years of domestic work. Right. So, yeah, there you go. I'll have to mess with Melissa and send that to her. Like, hey, look, I take care of your son. So, all right. With that, let's go ahead and do the drawing. All right, let's do it. Get out of here a little bit early today. And remember, tomorrow it is a big day. Non-farm, besides an interest rate change, which doesn't necessarily happen all the time. I mean, we're in the situation now where it does happen, but it's not a normal occurrence. It's not like every week, every month you're seeing those type of things. It's kind of a rare situation. The Fed will adjust it up and down. It's just the type of, again, we're post-pandemic. That's why it's a problem right now. Non-farm, if you remove interest rates, non-farm is considered the biggest moving market factor. Okay. If it wasn't already big enough, Powell saying that the totality of the data, that the employment number is what matters, and we already know employment's jacked, and the ADP number, which is kind of a foreshadow, has already been crazy. It's going to be a big day tomorrow. So again, be very, very cautious. The spreads are going to be twice as wide, 3 times as wide. I highly doubt you'll find anything even remotely tradable on Nadex tomorrow. They're going to just be absolutely enormous, right? I don't think it'll be tradable. I haven't even opened that platform for a while, but I can't even imagine how jacked up they're going to be tomorrow with that one. Because Powell has now put so much attention on there. So again, if you are trading your funded accounts, just a word of warning as well. All the funded account programs have different rules. Some of them allow news. Some of them don't allow news. Some of them allow some news. Go check it out tomorrow. Don't get an account busted because, again, you were trading a news event that you weren't supposed to be trading. It happens to the best of us. I'm just going to say, you guys can take what it's worth there. It just means it's like, oh, I got to do it again. It happens, right? Like I said, I have a few of them all up running testing, right? I have them for testing purposes. Sometimes you forget which one you're on and you put a trade in and you're like, you violated it. You're like, oh, crap. Did I really? Oh, can you just take that one out? Like, and it makes you mad too when it's a winner. You're like, yeah, I just, that was a winning trade, dude. You should be happy. But at the same time, you're like, but it was a breach of the rules. I was like, but I knew it was going to happen. But it was a breach of the rules. It's like having a conversation with the dry eye guys sometimes. So, yeah. Story of my it was a couple weeks ago, actually. Not recent. It was a couple weeks ago, just so you guys know. So anyway, let's close this down. Winner of today's drawing is Mitch. Look at that. Mitch got it right at the end. Mitch just pulled an Ernest. Right? Ernest loves to get in there right before I end up doing it. Right? Ernest believes that if you are the last one in, that you have some type of added chance. Right? That's what Ernest believes. Ernest was not in today. But Mitch came in there and sniped it at the very, very end, right? So let's see. Leaderboard. Mitch, where are you at? Let's see. Boom. Position 28. So let's go down here. Position 28. Oh, this should put you on. Not yet. All right. So let's put your 25 in there. You're getting close, though. It'll bring you up. Yeah, you're getting close. All right. Yeah, I don't know. That's Ernest's belief. Again, this is kind of one of those. I believe it's all exactly the same. I don't think there's a difference in there, but you know how people are that are superstitious. They all have their beliefs, right? Ernest believes that's the way you do it. But at the same time, there has been times that Ernest was a little bit late trying to come back and he didn't get in there last minute, right? He missed it. Ernest does have problems with Twitch sometimes. So it kind of crashed on him and then he kind of missed it. So that happens also. So, right. The strategies only work if you can get in every day. So, all right. I'm out of here. Again, be super, super cautious tomorrow morning. What I would recommend everybody, get in there tonight before you go to bed. See where the data is moving you, and then get back in there at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. See what the European market did with it. The European market may take it and run with it well before the U.S. trading session. And again, be very cautious with that. You still will tend to see a little bit of a pullback just in time. But again, look at it. Be cautious. If you're deep in profit, get yourself out. If you're like 2 to 1, get yourself out. Just the volatility of the non-farm payroll number can spike it up and down to clear stops. Don't be a victim, right? Don't be a victim tomorrow morning. So with that said, we'll get on right afterwards at 9:30. We'll see how 8:30 goes. I'm excited for it. And it should be pretty good. And I think it could be a major dollar moving figure, and it could be a really ugly day in the indices. We'll see how it goes. But with that, I'm out of here. See you guys tomorrow. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you then. Take care.